Alright, so we've got some pretty odd and what I would call unexpected stuff developing here. It seems to be the case that Hillary Clinton has come out and gone after Bernie Sanders pretty hard. So she was speaking to the Hollywood Reporter, and it seems to be the case that I guess she has a docu-series coming out. Um, and in this interview, the interviewer says, "In the doc, you're brutally honest on Sanders. Quote, he was in Congress for years. He had one senator support him. Nobody likes him. Nobody wants to work with him. He got nothing done. He was a career politician. It's all just baloney, and I feel so bad that people got sucked into it." And then the interviewer asks, "That assessment still hold?" And Hillary Clinton says, "Yes, it does." So that quote right there is a quote that she states in her docuseries that's going to come out, which is pretty insane, obviously. Now, the interviewer actually then asks her, if he gets the nomination, will you endorse and campaign for him? She says, "I'm not going to go there yet. We're still in a very vigorous primary season. I will say, however, that it's not only him, it's the culture around him. It's his leadership team. It's his prominent supporters. It's his online Bernie bros and their relentless attacks on lots of his competitors, particularly the women. And I really hope people are paying attention to that, because it should be worrisome that he has permitted this culture. Not only permitted, he seems to really be very much supporting it. And I don't think we want to go down that road again, where you campaign by insult and attack, and maybe you try to get some distance from it, but you either don't know what your campaign and supporters are doing, or you're just giving them a wink, and you want them to go after Kamala Harris or Elizabeth Warren. I think that's a pattern people should take into account when making their decisions. And then she's asked a question about the quote, the fake quote of Bernie Sanders, where, "Oh, Bernie Sanders said that a woman can't win in 2020, which is totally something that he would say." And so the interviewer says, "Speaking of, he allegedly told Senator Elizabeth Warren in 2018 that he didn't think a woman could win, a statement he vigorously denies. How did you digest that?" She responds saying, "Well, number one, I think that sentiment is untrue, which we should all say loudly. I mean, I did get more votes both in the primary by about 4 million and in the general election by about 3 million. I think that both the press and the public have to really hold everybody running accountable for what they say and what their campaign says and does. That's particularly true with what's going on right now with the Bernie campaign having gone after Elizabeth with a very personal attack on her. Then this argument about whether or not, or when he did or didn't say that a woman couldn't be elected. It's part of a pattern. If it were a one-off, you might say, okay, fine, but he said I was unqualified. I had a lot more experience than he did and got a lot more done than he had, but that was his attack on me. I just think people need to pay attention, because we want, hopefully, to elect a president who's going to try to bring us together and not either turn a blind eye or actually reward the kind of insulting, attacking, demeaning, degrading behavior that we've seen from this current administration." Dude, to sum up these answers, could there be a worse person that you could dislike even more than Hillary Clinton after reading those responses? Reading all of those responses just made me remember and realize why I hate Hillary Clinton with every fiber of my being. Every answer she gives is so self-enveloped, so self-absorbed. It's all about her. It's all about her dumb logic that apparently no matter how many people challenge her idiocy, she seems to hold to. So let's go through this one by one here, okay? So the quote is, he was in Congress for years. He had one senator support him. So yes, a dude who really stands for his values, right? A guy who is a non-corrupted senator in an entire institution, that being politics, and Congress in this institution's case, that is entirely corrupt, just as you were. And we're speaking about Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren is on video explaining that you, as First Lady, convinced Bill Clinton to shut down a bill that was coming through due to the creditor industry, okay? And then you got it shut down. But then when you were a senator, you voted in favor of that. And Elizabeth Warren said it's because those banking companies have bought out the Senate. You can go watch the video. It's a pretty darn good video. Is she being sexist by saying that? I mean, it's absolutely insane. I mean, you have to have a vagina to levy certain critiques against people now, apparently. So yeah, in an institution in which there's a bunch of hacks, frauds, pricks, like you, both of those, by the way, yeah, he's not going to have many friends, okay? Just like FDR said. Remember when he said, I welcome their hatred. That's what Bernie is doing. Nobody likes him. Nobody wants to work with him. He got nothing done. Talk about Hillary Clinton, by the way. That literally, if you were to say that, I would think you'd be talking about Hillary Clinton. Because obviously, I think when she says this, she's talking about people in Congress. Which again, if so, that's the case. If she's talking about regular people, Bernie Sanders is the most popular politician. And actually is one of the most popular, if not the most popular senator. Whereas Elizabeth Warren is actually at the bottom. He was a career politician. Again, that's Hillary Clinton to the T. Really, really weird projection going on here. It's all just baloney, and I feel so bad that people got sucked into it. I mean, you're a fucking idiot, dude. Like, Hillary Clinton, you're a piece of shit. You're a moron as well. Fuck you, you piece of shit. And then she refuses to say that she will endorse him, which is hilarious, considering that the centrists have been telling us all about, oh, those Bernie folks are not going to support the nominee. Well, let's flip that around and see what you would do if Bernie's a nominee. Let's find out. Okay, let's find out. Now, she says, I'm not going to go there yet. And then she says it's his leadership team, it's his prominent supporters. Let's think of his leadership team and his prominent supporters. I believe like 70% of his campaign are women. And then when you talk about his prominent supporters, right? When I think of prominent supporters of Bernie Sanders, I think of Breonna Joy Gray, who's his press secretary, obviously. I think of Nina Turner. And then obviously I think of people like David Sirota. Like, like a lot of those prominent supporters that we're talking about are women. So it's fine. It's really hilarious that they would do that. It's his online Bernie Bros. So again, the Bernie Bros bullshit myth being perpetuated here. And their relentless attacks on lots of his competitors. Like, dude, Bernie Sanders fans like myself, we want Bernie Sanders to win. And so what we're going to do is we are going to call out the records of the candidates that we don't like. Those being Joe Biden, now Elizabeth Warren. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're doing. That's like getting mad at an NBA team for playing defense against the other in a Game 7 in the finals. Like, you idiot. You're trying to win this race. And so, yes, we're doing attacks. And this is the funny thing is, Hillary Clinton did way worse back in 2007 against Obama. They released that goddamn turban photo, called them the Obama boys. Like, it's embarrassing, dude. It's so embarrassing. Very much supporting this culture, and particularly the woman, dude. Like, right now, the main person in the sights is Joe Biden because he's in the lead. So, which women are you talking about? Warren and Kamala Harris? I mean, those are the people who are running against Bernie Sanders, right? And honestly, up until Elizabeth Warren came out and lied about Bernie Sanders, everything was, for the most part, hunky-dory. You know what I mean? That wasn't really the focus. So what are you even talking about there? And it's very, very weird when get them and you want them to go after Kamala Harris or Elizabeth Warren. Why aren't you mentioning the names of Pete Buttigieg? Why aren't you mentioning the name of Joe Biden? Why aren't you mentioning the name of Cory Booker or any of these other folks? Why is it that you only mention the women? Is it because you have a preconceived bullshit lie that you're trying to peddle? Oh man, hey, maybe that's that. Maybe that is that. Think that's a pattern? What pattern? The pattern, if anything, if you analyze it and look at the pattern you come away with is, oh, Bernie Sanders fans want Bernie to win, and so they're going to point out the truth about the other candidates in the race. Okay? That's what they're going to do, and that's why they want to win. There's no pattern of sexism. Are you stupid? And then we got the answer to this, obviously, the primary by 4 million, which she cheated, and then in the general election by 3 million, which she lost. The Electoral College, of course, which is the rules that they were playing by, and she was very well aware of the rules that they were playing by, of course. It's like playing a basketball game by 1s and 2s into 15, and then, some other way, made shots, maybe. Say, oh, look, I made more shots. No, that's not how it works, buddy. And it's just, I find this so unbelievably hilarious, but she says, but he said I was unqualified. I had a lot more experience than he did. So it's like, dude, you are unqualified to be president of the United States, considering all the horrible judgment calls that you've made. You voted in favor of the Iraq War. Okay, you bragged and were proud of the fact that basically, you were buddy-buddy with Henry Kissinger. Henry Kissinger, the guy who was dropping literally tons of fucking napalm bombs on Cambodia, okay? And you're happy about that, okay? One of Anthony Bourdain's best quotes that he had, he said that if you see what he did to Cambodia, you'll never want to stop choking him out, because it's like, holy smokes, this guy dropped so much napalm bombs essentially in there that you can still see the remnants of it. That's the guy that you're talking about, Henry Kissinger? Oh my God, yes, you're unqualified. You failed at every single thing that you've done. You've proven to be a corrupt moron who's wrong on the wrong side of history on literally every single thing. Okay, so yes, you're unqualified. Has nothing to do with the fact that you're a woman. It has to do with the fact that you're buddies with Henry Kissinger, that you voted in favor of the Iraq War, could you believe it? During one of the debates with Bernie, when Bernie points out that she was corrupted by Wall Street, she literally invokes 9/11. I mean, holy smokes, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? So she's clearly bitter. She's clearly still, just being annoying. And I have to tell you that this is not a good look for Hillary Clinton. Virtually every response I've seen is people saying, what are you doing? Like, are you stupid? How is this helpful? Why are you doing this? This doesn't aid anything. And you're wrong, and it comes off as super bitter. And it's like, what is wrong with you? But all of this summarizes to me why I hate Hillary Clinton so much, okay? And Bernie hauled ass to do 40-something campaign rallies for her, which she thanked him for. He went to places she didn't even go to, so trying to save her sorry ass in the election. But nope, doesn't get any thanks for that, of course. So that's why, even though Donald Trump was obviously worse than Hillary Clinton, there's obviously a pretty decent part of me that felt good when Hillary lost. Because it's like, you entitled prick. I am so happy that you lost, because you're clearly so far up your own ass that you can't see anymore. You now have glaucoma. You can't see anymore. It's very obvious. So what's been going on now is there have been some responses from some prominent folks that I want to go over. Tulsi Gabbard sending out a tweet saying, I like Bernie, hashtag I like Bernie. That hashtag I like Bernie tag was very, very popular. Here's a video of Tulsi Gabbard. Let's hear this one. Let's go ahead and hear this one out.
Look, it's time to grow up. This isn't high school. We're talking about real challenges that our country needs to address, and the need for real leadership to focus on them, not on what's going on in Washington and the schoolyard cliques or whatever else it may be. There are real issues that people are struggling with, and they're wondering, why are our leaders not working for us? This is why I'm running for president, to change that, because Washington is so disconnected from the reality of what people are dealing with every day. There are people dying because of this opioid epidemic every day. This is what our leaders should be focusing on, among many other issues.
So I really couldn't have said it myself better. I like how she points out the clique stuff, because, people in Congress may not like Bernie Sanders, even though I would even challenge that. I think that there are a lot of people in Congress who seem to like Bernie Sanders. But, again, it's a welcome their hatred FDR type of shit, saying, why would you want to be liked by pricks? Why would you want to be liked by them? It doesn't make sense. So he's not going to be liked by the establishment. Duh! You think that's a bad thing? Are you kidding me? I couldn't have said it better myself. Now, it makes more sense if she was endorsing Bernie Sanders and she was on the trail to support Bernie instead of running her own campaign, which still I don't understand at all, but whatever. Tom Steyer sent out a tweet. Tom Steyer is in love with Bernie Sanders. He sent out a tweet saying, at the risk of getting in the middle of it, I like Bernie Sanders. Now let's move on, America. Now, if you haven't seen Tom Steyer with Bernie Sanders, he's clearly trying to get cuddly with him. He's a really big fan of Bernie Sanders. He's always standing next to him, dancing with him. He's definitely, he's feeling some love, man. That's what he's feeling. He's feeling some love. Now, we got a response from the main man, Bernardino himself. Let us go ahead and hear this one out.
Secretary Clinton, as you know, said that as a senator you got nothing done and that no one likes you. What's your response to that?
Well, on a good day, my wife likes me, so let's clear the air on that one. Right now, today, I am dealing with impeachment.
But Senator, Secretary Clinton said was about your supporters and criticizing them.
Look. Secretary Clinton is entitled to her point of view. My job today is to focus on the impeachment trial. My job today is to put together a team that can defeat the most dangerous president in the history of the United States of America.
Why do you think the Secretary is still talking about 2016?
That is a good question. Ask him. Okay, thanks very much.
Are you prepared to be...
Bernie is such a fucking G, dude. What a gangster this guy is. But what's so hilarious about this is he comes off looking so good from this situation. Like, to anybody, even if you're a Hillaryite, he comes off looking way better than Hillary Clinton does. And so he's just too good of a person. Like, Bernie Sanders is way too good of a human being. I mean, a human being, in the words of Bernie Sanders. He's just too good of a person. Point blank. He's way too good of a person. But he comes off really good from this because he's not stooping to the shit-slinging fest that Hillary Clinton is attempting to implicate him in. He's not firing back. He's like, nah. He makes a little funny remark about his wife liking him on a good day, which is funny. And then, she's entitled to her opinion, and why she's still talking about 2016. Go ahead and ask her. All of that stuff, really, really, really good coming from Bernie. And it is very impressive, certainly, and I think that this whole thing has turned out to be a massive, I repeat, massive failure on the part of Hillary Clinton. And actually, I think that this looks really good for Bernie, and I think that this is something that ends up making Bernie look really good in this situation. Really, really good. But, I mean, wow, Hillary Clinton is just such an unlikable human being. If she even is human, that is.